Here we have the Escentric Molecules Escentric Discovery Set. So these are not to be mixed up with the original Molecule 01 and that set of perfumes. These are the more recent versions that are still based on those one specific note scents, but then have additional notes. So they still have that same molecule and they still actually match up in terms of the numbers, but they are different perfumes. They do actually smell quite different. So I was getting these because, as I explained in my previous video, which is the one of the discovery set I got for the Molecule 01, 2, 3, 4 and 5, I smelled someone at a bus stop basically who smelled amazing, and she didn't know which number she was wearing, but she knew it was one of the Molecule perfumes. So I wanted to get them. I bought both of the discovery sets at the same time because I had no idea which one they were going to be. And also, to be honest, it's slightly confusing because the bottles really don't look that different. You just have to look out if you want the Escentric ones, which have the extra notes, and it will have an E, O2, an O1, an O4 or whatever. And if you want the original ones, like with the Molecule 01, that are the one notes, then those have an M and not an E, so it's M01 on the bottles. But they all do look pretty similar. This is quite a cool box. If you can see, it's got like kind of a really cool, almost looks glow in the dark. I can't remember the name for it now. It's going to get on my nerves. But anyway, so this is the set. These are the 8.5 mils. Not a huge amount of price difference between the 2 mils and the 8.5, so I went for the bigger ones because I will be passing these on. I'll be selling them on eBay when I've done this review. So let's have a look. Here we go. So again, reflective, I think is the word I'm looking for. Really cool. So this is the booklet that tells you all about it, and these are the perfumes. E1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So my first feeling about this Escentric collection in comparison to the Molecule collection is that these all smell a little bit more masculine to me. I think everything except for the vetiver one in the Molecule set all smell pretty unisex to me. Molecule 01 is actually slightly feminine, I'd say, whereas these, I think, have more of a masculine feel to them. So if we look, I did try all of these on my skin and I also sprayed them on card. These, because they have extra notes, are more obvious, I think, than the Molecule perfumes. Those are ones that I think you can probably smell better on other people than yourself. These you can smell a bit more on yourself because they have additional notes. So this is Escentric 01 and this is their ISOE Super. So this also has additional notes. It has lime peel, green jasmine bud, which is called hedione, orris incense, balsamic notes, fresh musk, which gives a seriously lingering base note, apparently. So this one, let's have a sniff. This one, to me, has a kind of bitter edge that I don't enjoy. So the original ISOE Super is quite kind of fluffy and sweet. It has this like cotton candy and fresh laundry smell about it. This one smells a bit more citrusy. It smells more masculine. This is Escentric 01, as you can see. Yeah, this has a little bit of the tarry smell that I get from a lot of aroma chemicals that kind of, I think, smells a bit like burnt wood or burning rubber. Like, it's not full rubber, there's just a hint. And sometimes I get that with a particularly chemical smelling jasmine. Other times it's from like woody notes. Sometimes it's from amberwood. Yeah, this one, I just don't like this one. I don't think it smells very nice. It's not the best use, I would say, of ISOE Super, just because ISOE Super is so fluffy and I like it. I like the fluffiness of it, you know. But yeah, this one smells quite masculine. Citrusy. It doesn't smell particularly interesting to me, either on skin or on card. And obviously, as I said in the last one, this is just how I smell them, so it's not necessarily going to be the way they smell to you. But I think as a female who likes feminine perfumes or unisex perfumes, that one's definitely leaning in a direction that I'm not too keen on. So the next one is Escentric 02. And this is the Ambroxan perfume. Well, let's have a look. What does it actually say? Yeah, there we go. The Ambroxan. So it's got the Ambroxan from, which matches up with the Molecule 02. That's also Ambroxan, but it's just Ambroxan. This one, let's have a little whiff and then I'll give you the additional notes. So, firstly, Ambroxan is something that I can't wear because it is very much it goes screechy and sharp for me. But I think that this is a kind of nicer mixture than the first one in terms of what they've done with it. So, Escentric 02, it says it has a amber molecule, mineral smoothness. It's got jasmine bud, a sparkling gin and tonic accord, a hint of almudler. I don't know what that means. That specific smell you get when you unwrap a new Apple laptop, apparently. And it says something about like ambergris, so it's probably got a slight saltiness. Let's have a little sniff again from the bottle. This is also, I mean, let's be real, it also has that slightly tarry note that I don't like, but it's slightly more interesting. It's still got a kind of fresh citrusiness to it. It smells like a citrus freshie. This one is a little bit better in the dry down. You get a bit more of a sweetness, I'd say, but it's definitely still got a slight masculine freshy smell to it. And the thing I'd compare this to mainly is Chanel Chant Eau Fraiche. It has a little bit of that kind of smell about it, I'd say. So it's nothing particularly original smelling. It's just a bit fresh, clean, a bit zesty. Maybe with an ever so tiny bit of a kind of salty seaside accord, so maybe slightly holiday-ish. I do prefer it to this first one, but I'm still not keen. It's alright, but I don't think it's very interesting, to be honest. Alright, so I hope I'm not going to say that about all of them. I'm sure there's one of these that dried down to me thinking it was quite nice. So, Escentric 03. And this one is the vetiver one. Now, the vetiver is the one that I like the least out of the molecule perfumes. It's the one that I feel smells the most masculine. So let's have a look. What does it say for this one? This one says, something about fluffy clouds, an orange sun, Egyptian jasmine and tea notes, velvety rich orris. They really like jasmine, don't they? The dry down emphasises dark green woodiness, sandalwood cedar, mellow balsams and musk. So, let's smell this from the bottle. This one smells, again, very masculine. This is even more woody and a bit more tangy than the original vetiver. And from the bottle, it's not that interesting. Smell it on the dry down. Again, this is definitely nicer in the dry down than it is from the actual sprayer. But this one smells like a woody freshie. Rather than it smelling like a citrusy freshie for men, it smells like a woody freshie for men. A little bit of a kind of Hermes kind of light, slightly woody, vetiver-y kind of perfume. And again, there's not a huge amount else going on here. It doesn't smell particularly interesting or original to me. It's okay. I don't love it. It's just alright. I guess maybe you can get a bit of a sense for the tea, but not so much. This one's relatively similar to the plain vetiver. Doesn't smell a massive amount different to me, but definitely got more wood in it. Yeah. Again, I think this particular set I was just not very sold on. I was like, it's alright, but it's nothing to write home about compared to some of the more interesting, just solely note ones. Okay. Then we've got the one that I just assumed I would really like because it's sandalwood, and my favourite from the molecule perfumes was definitely 04, which is their sandalwood. Although it's not called sandalwood, it's called Javanol, but it is supposed to smell like a creamy sandalwood. So for this one, what did they say? Okay, transparent, like no sandalwood in nature. It certainly was transparent. I couldn't smell it on myself, but I could smell it on the lady at the bus stop. That's why I bought these sets, to find out which one it was. So this one says sandalwood fizzing with a crisp bitter note of pink grapefruit peel, zest of lime, juniper, pink pepper, for extra freshness. Heart of orris with soft rose, balsamic woody. Let's have a look. Anything else? I think that's it. Dry down with balsamic and woody. So this one I did find too balsamic, and I lost the creaminess that I liked from the original sandalwood from the Molecule perfumes. It's very tangy. You can definitely smell the grapefruit. This one is a little bit more obvious with its notes, with its additional notes. So yeah, I can definitely smell that grapefruity tanginess. There's definitely some balsamicness there. And you don't really get that delicious creaminess coming through the way that it does in the Molecule 04. Escentric 04 definitely is smelling like a kind of, again, like a slightly masculine, freshy perfume for summer. It doesn't really have the lovely, soft, fluffy, creamy, slightly musky feel of that original sandalwood one. Yeah, damn, that is a really bright... What else did they say was in it? Because it's a really bright... Oh, gin and tonic, okay. I don't think it's like massively bitter, considering it's got gin and tonic. But it's definitely an obvious pink grapefruit, and it does smell... it's not the most natural smelling pink grapefruit, but it's definitely got a pink grapefruit. I'd say that's the most obvious thing in this. More obvious than the sandalwood to me. Yeah, I think it's very citrusy, but it's quite an interesting citrus. But again, it's not, I don't really like that one. It's not one that I'd want to wear. It's not one that I particularly want to smell on my husband either. So the last of this collection is 05. Let's have a look. Get this one open. Cool bottle. So this is the Cashmerian one. There you go. That's what the bottle looks like. And if I remember correctly, this is the one, I really didn't like it when I first sprayed it. But I think this one has the nicest dry down, and this is the closest to being unisex. So if we have a look at this one, let's pull this out. Okay. I'm just going to sniff this from the bottle. This is definitely tangy as well. This is kind of salty. All right, let's have a look at the notes. So Escentric 05, the Cashmerian, it says... Oh, okay. A modern Cashmerian fragrance with notes of bergamot, laurel, rosemary, citrus, fig, juniper and hedione. And Cashmerian. So this says the dry down has two classic Mediterranean ingredients, labdamen and mastic. Mastic is the resin from the small tree, grows near the sea. So this... I definitely get the rosemary. I don't really know what mastic smells like, but there is a resinous smell. There's a sweetness in here. I wouldn't necessarily have guessed it was fig, but I think the fig is probably what's giving this a bit of sweetness. So this is actually quite pretty. Again, it smells very, very unisex. This is not leaning so much into the masculine scent, but it's... It smells, I mean, yeah, like Mediterranean summer. That's a good description. If I smelt this in a Hermès Jardin perfume, I wouldn't be surprised. The rosemary is really strong here, stronger than the citruses, I'd say, in this. Yeah, the juniper, the rosemary, a little bit of fig, and then the Cashmerian. So this one is actually my favourite from these, I would say. I think it smelt the nicest on the skin. Nicest in the dry down and the nicest from the bottle, and I wasn't particularly keen on the Cashmerian in the original, so from these my recommendation would certainly be Escentric 05, and if I was going to ask my husband to try any of these, it would be Escentric 05 because I think it's the nicest one. So yeah, so I have to say personally I'm not as keen on these as I am the original Molecule set, because I mean, realistically, the fun thing about those is that they are just the one note. They're kind of really interesting in a scientific way. These are just kind of feel a bit more like just modern regular freshy perfumes, you know, all of which nowadays seem to have some kind of aroma chemical in. So yeah, I'm not crazy for these, but it was really fun to try them. My recommendation, absolutely overall, is just to get the from the original set, just here to get Molecule 04, which is the sandalwood, which I think is the most alluring and lovely scent. But if you like something a bit more feminine, then the Molecule 01, which is the ISOE Super, is the sweetest, the girliest, most feminine, and probably one of the easiest to wear. So yeah, I hope that you guys found this helpful in some way, or at least enjoyed me rambling on about them. Let me know if you have any of these, if you've tried them, and if you can smell them, because I really can't smell these very well on me. I'll tell you what was weird though. When I got in the shower and tried to wash them all off, they smelt really nice. Like I'd sprayed lots of them in different places, and they just smelt really good when the hot water got on them. So I was like, yeah, they are very interesting in a kind of scientific way. But yeah, the Cashmerian from this one, 05, is I think the nicest by quite a long way.